ready to celebrate because in the next few years, the best animated films in the world are coming back with brand new adventures on the big screen. Are you ready to find out which movies are about to hit theaters? Moana 3 is expected to hit theaters sometime between June and August of 2027. The official date hasn't been confirmed by Disney yet, but that's not such a big deal right now, since the creators need time to polish the story and the soundtrack to the level fans deserve. Still, it's safe to say Moana 3 is already in production, and the reason is very simple, right? Anyone who watched Moana 2 knows that movie ended with a huge promise. Nalo, the god of storms and the main villain, made it clear he's going to do everything he can to destroy Moana and Maui for what they did. In other words, Moana 3 is going to be an epic battle between the two demigods and this terrifying villain. The big question is whether our heroes will receive help from Te Fiti, the goddess of life in the Polynesian princess's universe. Moana 3 will also bring plenty of romance since Maui and Matangi need to settle their past. But will Moana herself end up meeting a prince? We'll find out in the coming years. But until then, grab your popcorn because another episode of Cinewave is starting just for you. The Bad Guys 2 barely hit theaters and its sequel is already in production. That's right, we're gonna see Wolf and his crew sooner than you think. The last movie ended with the revelation that Professor Rupert Marmalade is actually an alien monster who had been planning to invade Earth for a very long time. In the post-credit scene, he uses his golden car, which is really a spaceship, to fly back to his home planet. The name of this place can't be spoken in any human language, but we do know that back there, Marmalade is an evil prince in a world where cute things are totally forbidden. In other words, the villain has been pretending to be a guinea pig all along. The truth is, he's a monster full of tentacles, just like it's shown in the original book that inspired the movie. Are you ready to find out more about this character and how the bad guys are going to save the world from an alien army? Then you better keep an eye on our channel, because when Bad Guys 3 hits theaters, all the news will be right here. You really thought that Sonic 4 wasn't going to happen in the next few years, did you? Sure, Paramount, the studio behind the movie, hasn't leaked much information since the third film, but we have some important inside sources. The first thing you need to know is this. Yes, we're going to have Sonic and Amy Rose in the next movie. We already saw the pink hedgehog in the post-credit scene of the last adventure, and besides that, it's almost certain that this sequel is going to adapt the game Sonic Generations, which is all about time travel. How do we know that? Simple, the way Metal Sonic showed up in the post-credit scene is the exact same way the T-800 robot from the Terminator goes back in time to destroy the hero. In other words, it's a reference that proves the Hedgehog's next adventure will deal with time travel. And of course it makes total sense, since Silver, the silver hedgehog from the future, also needs to show up. Are you excited for this movie? Because we sure are. So, who's already losing their mind waiting for Toy Story 5? On June 18th, 2026, Buzz Lightyear and his friends are finally going to reunite with Woody, who at the end of the last movie chose to live as a lost toy so he could stay with his true love, Bo Peep. But a newly leaked Disney image shows that the cowboy is back to help his friends face off against the new big villain, a kid's tablet called Lilypad. The theory that's blowing up online says this villain will drive all children away from their beloved toys because she wants their attention forever. And Lilypad isn't just a threat to Buzz and Woody. Oh no, she's an enemy to toys all over the world, and the battle against her is going to be more than legendary. Are you ready for Toy Story 5? Because we sure are. Do you prefer toys or tablets? Drop a hashtag toy in the comments so we can get to know ya. Set to hit theaters in April 2026, the movie about the most famous plumber in the universe already has a title, and it's going to be called Super Mario World. Now, Nintendo has already said that this next animated movie will be even more emotional than the first, because we're getting new characters, and one of them is already confirmed, Yoshi. We saw in the post-credit scene that Mario's dinosaur friend was hatching from an egg after the battle with Bowser in New York City. We're also expecting Princess Daisy to finally make her debut in the sequel. She's Luigi's great love, and everybody wants to see those two together. It would make total sense, because besides being Luigi's girlfriend, she's also going to be Peach's best friend, and the two of them will probably have plenty of adventures in the movie. Will Bowser return for Mario 2? It's almost certain, since the character's original voice is done by actor Jack Black. That's pretty awesome, right? We'll be waiting for this movie next year, but a trailer should be out by December 2025. So, do you really know how to train your dragon, or do you still need another lesson? Hiccup and Toothless are coming back for the next Viking adventure in Berk in the coming years. As everyone knows, there are already 3 animated movies in this universe plus an animated series, and now a live-action movie retelling the story of the first film has been released. After the success of the 2025 film, it's pretty much guaranteed that we'll get a second How to Train Your Dragon live-action movie adapting the second animated film. Yes, we're talking about a story we already know, but this movie proved that even when it's a tale fans have already experienced, they're still crazy to live through it all over again. That's why it's almost certain that DreamWorks will adapt not just the second film, but also the third one in the How to Train Your Dragon saga. Still talking about DreamWorks, they scored a huge hit in 2025 with Dogman, adapted from Dave Pilkey's books. The second movie is expected to return in theaters in 2027. Yes, that's still a long wait, but to match the success of Dogman 1, DreamWorks will need plenty of time to work on it. So we'll have to be patient. But don't worry, because we've got some great news. The first Dogman movie adapted more than just the first book in the series. If it hadn't, little Petey wouldn't have even shown up. After all, the villain's son is only introduced in the third comic volume. In other words, DreamWorks is pulling from multiple books to create just one movie. The new adventure of the cop dog will follow the same plan, and they'll probably use 3 more books all at once. That means we might see Big Jim out of prison and lots of other characters making an appearance in this new story. Pretty cool, right? We'll find out everything about this movie in the coming years. Another movie that's very close to hitting theaters is Encanto 2, where Disney will show us what's been happening with the Madrigal family. The first movie was a massive hit, and of course Bruno, yes, we're talking about him, will have a strange vision of the future about a new enemy who's about to disrupt the family's life. We still don't know exactly how this story will play out, but some theories point to a power from the past making its return in this movie. Could there be another family besides the Madrigals who also have magical powers? We'll find out in the coming years. And you know what power you have? The power to subscribe to the channel and get new videos every single day. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Disney also announced that Lilo and Stitch 2 is already in production and will be hitting theaters in the next few years. We're pretty sure this movie will premiere on the big screen in 2027. And in this new story, it's very likely we'll finally see a character who only appeared in the animated series, Angel, Stitch's girlfriend. She has the power to sing a song that manipulates Dr. Jumba's other experiments, turning them into villains. Could Stitch himself become an evil alien because of Angel? It's definitely possible. So let's wait and see how Disney introduces Stitch's future girlfriend. Zootopia 2 hasn't even hit theaters yet, and we're already sure there's going to be a third movie coming soon. In the trailer for the movie arriving in November 2025, Nick jokes that it's been a long time since a snake got into Zootopia, which means the story will introduce another city where reptiles live. The Zootopia universe probably has tons of different cities with animals other than mammals, and because of that, a third movie feels more than necessary. Do you think our theory is right? We'll find out very soon. Hotel Transylvania already has 4 movies, and now it's getting a brand new Netflix series called Motel Transylvania, where Dracula and his daughter Mavis open up a new place for monsters in California. This continuation of the monster story is coming as a series instead of a theatrical film, but that's actually super interesting, because now we'll get to see way more about all the other types of monsters besides vampires. Will it be a hit? Of course it will. We're talking about Dracula here. On December 26, 2026, DreamWorks will release Shrek 5, bringing back the world's most famous ogre with brand new problems. From what it looks like, this movie will focus on his teenage daughter Felicia. But judging from the teaser, there seems to be some sort of trouble with the magic mirror. Will Felicia be seen as the most beautiful princess in the kingdom, or as a teenage ogre girl? That would be interesting. One thing's for sure, Shrek 5 is going to be your Christmas present next year. On January 29, 2027, you'll be heading back into action with the Angry Birds in the third movie of the franchise. From the teaser, it looks like Red is once again going to play a huge role in the story, and some fan theories suggest the movie could take place in outer space, which would be a fun nod to several levels in the original game. Are you hyped for this movie? Because we definitely are. And of course, Coco 2 is long overdue to return to theaters. Disney really is working on this sequel, but it won't hit the big screen until 2029. The story will once again follow Miguel, but this time he's an adult. During one of his concerts, he suffers an accident and ends up in the land of the dead, where he must decide whether to stay or return to the world of the living. This could turn out to be a very powerful story, because Miguel may have to give up his gift of music once and for all. Will that theory come true? What we do know is that the fun doesn't stop here. We've lined up 2 more awesome videos for everyone to enjoy. We'll see you in the next one. See you soon.